So I kind of want this plant over here. So, trusting the process. Hey guys, I know it's been a while. Thank you for those of you who have stuck with me and who have been checking on me, asking when new videos are going to be put out. Thanks for caring. Thanks for staying on my ass. Hi, my name is Shakara, for those of you who are new here. If you are waiting for part 2 of the last video that I posted, the last long video I posted, that is coming, I promise. I literally shot part 1 and part 2 in the same day. I hadn't gotten around to editing part 2, and life things were happening that I let happen, and that's kind of what the topic of today's video is, because I didn't write anything, like I don't have notes for this. I'm just kind of going off the dome. So today's video, as you can tell from the title, is about trusting the process. And part of the reason I wanted to do this video was because of the sort of like transformation I've been going through over the past few months that I've been gone, of like really sitting down and learning more, healing more, and being able to deliver more to you guys. This is a very important topic for me. This feeling generally comes up about this time of year, when you've kind of looked at the year and seen all of the things that you have not accomplished that you thought you were going to get done this year, or goals that you hadn't met. And a lot of it can just be because you haven't put the effort into it, and some of that is where I am now. But some of it also is just having to sometimes take a step back and just trust the process. Trust that things that are for you will not pass you. And I kind of want this plant over here. But Erykah Badu, in an interview before, talked about having a downloading period. Flowers don't bloom all year, right? They only bloom at certain times. They have peak times to bloom, and then they have other times when they're just germinating, where they're underground, where their roots and their seeds and their remnants and whatever are preparing for the next season when it's their time to bloom. So a lot of times you don't really know when it's your season, especially as an artist. If you're a creator of any sort, it's easy to start comparing yourself to people, or seeing people whose like career is popping or seems like it's popping. You can see it picking up from the beginning of the year to where it is now, and you compare it to yours, knowing that you should never compare yourself, but you compare it to yours, and you're just like, you can get discouraged if you do that. And it's important to realize that sometimes you're in a downloading period, and that's a period for you to be taking in information, taking account of how you're feeling, of where your life is, of where your life has been since your last like creative moments, and taking account of what you learn, what you're supposed to be learning, what more can you be learning that will help you in your next period of bounty. Like, what are you needing to learn right now that's going to help your art later, or that's going to help your work later, or that's going to help your life later? So I've been getting a lot of messages lately that are like, you don't even know how much this helped. This gave me a second wind. Like, I've been overworking, or I've been overworked, or I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown, or just, I've gotten lots of messages like that in my comments from videos lately, and DMs from people on Instagram. And I was in a period of just examining what I had been bringing to the world, how hard I had been working, where I was on my goals, where I was and where I thought I would be by this time of year, and all those sorts of things. And some of that was discouraging, looking at where I was versus where I thought I would be, and those sorts of things. But yesterday, clear as day, as always, I just started getting a message, and it was just trusting the process. Remembering that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Trusting that as long as my intention is to be better and to offer myself to the world in a way that helps other people, and honoring where I am. And I think there's at this point right now, like, I have maybe like 600 subscribers, and it can be easy to look at that and say, damn, like, my subscriber count is so low. But That's 600 damn people who willingly wanted to subscribe to what it is that I have to say and things that I'm going to be offering on this channel because they saw a video or they saw several videos and say, you know what, I like her, I fuck with her, I like the energy that she's bringing, I like the things that she does, I like the things she's going to be talking about, I want to subscribe to her. That's a lot. That probably in this point in time is even better than somebody looking at my channel and subscribing just because a whole bunch of other people have subscribed, you know what I mean? And I know my follower count is like hidden or whatever now, and that's part of the reason because I don't want people to overlook my channel just because my count is low. I'm just starting. But I also haven't been consistent, and so that's been part of the process too, like trusting that in the process it's going to have to actually be the work over and over again, and offering my best to the work is giving your best to whatever you're doing, even if it seems like nobody's paying attention to it now. Do it for yourself. The work is always for you. Number one, first and foremost. When I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself. Like, I feel like Spirit is speaking things to say to you, but there are things I also need to hear. Trusting the process is knowing that as long as I am giving my best work and my intention is to get better, my intention is for my place in the world to be one that offers light to everyone, I know that that energy will carry me, and it's gonna pop when it's supposed to pop. So that's one, do it for yourself. Two, do it for the people who are already fucking with it, right? So even though my subscriber count is lower than I thought it would be, and as I said, most of that is just from me not being consistent on here. Remember, people who are supposed to vibe with you are gonna vibe with you. They're gonna come, they'll come in droves. Three, for people to fuck with it later. Because when whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're starting, when it does pop, people are going to want to look back and see your journey, where you've come from. Like, what was your first piece of work? What was the first thing you offered us? Like, people like to go back in your journey and see where you've been and kind of ride the ride with you, like see how you got to where you are. So do it for that too. Bring your best to it. Don't just say, well, nobody's really watching me right now, so I don't really have to put effort into it. No, put your full effort into it as if it's already as successful as you want it to be. Remember, like I've said before, act as if. Act as if it's already what you want it to be in your grand vision. Treat it like that. Treat it as important and as delicate as that, even if only 2 people are watching you, even if you've only had 2 sales, even if you only have 60 views, and every time that you're tired in the morning or you don't feel like doing it, you do it anyway, because you know your later self will thank you. You know your future self will thank you. You know it's going to put you a step closer to where it is that you want to be. This is the hard work that people are talking about when they say it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hours in the dark. It's a lot of doing a lot of work that people will never know about and never appreciate. And that is the difference between people who are great and people who are content. But trusting the process is just knowing that when things pass you by, it's because how many times has something left your life and you see later why it was so great that it left? Or how many times have you thought you missed out on an opportunity only to find out weeks, months, years later that something even better is there for you? And had you taken that first opportunity that you wanted so much, that you thought was yours and for you, your life would have been much different, and you probably wouldn't have been in the place to receive that even better thing. So trusting the process is just knowing that what you are calling to you is coming to you, as long as you are doing the work and as long as you are staying very clear on your intention, right? So I say all this to say, even when it seems like your life is shit, it seems like nothing's going the way it's supposed to go, it seems like things you're trying aren't working, or it seems like your work is going unnoticed and it's not paying off immediately, just remember to trust the process. Remember that as long as your intention is always to get better and you are bringing your best work to the table, you're going to be paid for that. You're going to receive the energy back that you're giving out. It may not seem like it's coming to you at the time that you'd like it or the time that you would have expected it to, but it is coming. It's coming in ways that you can't even fathom. You just have to keep doing the work. You have to keep working on yourself. You have to keep being the best you. I also say this to those of us who are like, especially those of us who are creatives, or those of us who are like building a business or building a platform or doing some sort of work that is like on our terms. Sometimes it can be easy, especially if you're out of your like early 20s or out of your 20s period. It can seem like, because we're such a youth obsessed culture and we praise people so much when their careers are popping and they're so young, like, oh my gosh, she's so successful, she's so good, she's so young. A lot of us were wonderful when we were 17, 18. No one knew us. No one saw social media becoming the thing that it is now. And it's still evolving, it's new. So if things would have popped for me when I was 21, 22, I don't know if I would have been able to handle that, like energy just being thrown at me from strangers because they think on the internet it's okay to have Twitter fingers because you're behind a screen, or you think people don't have feelings because they're on a camera. So I would love to say that I was as like cheery and airy and whatever as I am, that I would have been able to handle it. But if I'm honest with myself, I don't know. So maybe now is the time. Like, having my daughter taught me a lot too. I don't know what my life would be without her. I don't want to imagine my life without her. So I say that to say, for all, trust the process. Things happen in the time that they're supposed to happen. If you have a dream, whether you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 70s, as long as you have air in your lungs, you need to be doing what it is that the world needs. It's so easy to feel hopeless and to compare yourself. That's another reason why you might be feeling the way you are, because you're comparing yourself. It's so easy to do those things, but it's so detrimental to yourself and to society. So please don't do that. Know that what you want is coming. It's not going to be in your timing. It may take longer than you think, or it may all of a sudden just happen one day in the midst of you doing this work. Keep doing the work. Prayerfully, I've said everything I wanted to say, but more than that, prayerfully you heard me, especially because it's October. There's only 3 more months left in the year, and it's quite possible for many of us that your life doesn't look like you thought it would be looking like by the end of the year. Maybe your expectations were unrealistic. Maybe you just haven't been working. And sometimes that's just part of the process, that having to appreciate actually doing the work. And yeah, so if you liked this video, this is the part I hate. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit me in the comments. Continue to let me know what type of content you want to see here. This channel is just a life elevation channel in all the ways that I know to bring that to you, be it through humor, be it through my art and writing and actual like scripted content, be it sit down videos like this, be it vlogs, be it whatever it is. I just want this to be a space where we can all come and talk and commune and just talk about getting better, being better, offering our light and walking in our purpose. I took the time to have my downloading period over the past few months, and I'm very glad I did, because I learned a lot about myself, about my magic, and about cultivating me and what it is that I'm supposed to be doing here. So you guys have a blessed week, and look out for part 2 of that business video coming very, very soon. Be sure to check out my other videos. They're probably linked here, and prayerfully they're linked in your up next videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. There's times when it's dark and it's trying and it's hard, and sometimes those periods are for years, but it's all about your mindset and how you're dealing with it, and your faith in yourself and what it is that you're doing, and your willingness to let it take flight when it's supposed to take flight, and not by next month because you want it by next month, okay?